good. Oh, good. That's exciting.
Yes,
All right. It looks like we are. Let me
we
check
are
the.
getting there. I was just saying that a gentleman named Mark Carr just joined Parkland Jewelry, direct to home office, and we're thrilled to work with him.
Hmm.
And he's tuning in with some of his guests tonight as well.
I love this. I did put a message in the chat. So I'm going to move this over. Give me a moment or two. How was your weekend, Mary Grace?
What day is this? Monday? Oh.
Today's Monday.
It was okay. My mom's in the hospital. We all have stuff like that happen. And honest to goodness, this isn't like a excuse to talk about my job, but I really was saying to her, what would we do, Mom? If I didn't have this flexibility.
For
So
sure.
her heart rate's a little off, and they're gonna zap her tomorrow, for lack of a better word. So
Okay.
yeah, but just knowing like, okay, I can be up there in the morning, and I did some work from the hospital room, and here I
You know,
am.
and I think a lot of the people that watch this call can relate to that because same with me when my mother was living, it was a blessing to be able to know that I could have
Yes,
something that
yes.
truly worked for my schedule at that very time. So I'm going to let some more people in here into the studio. I let in
And really
26.
dramatically, Shirley Levine, when she started the company, that was actually really a huge part of her why, was especially in the 50s. You guys, can you imagine? Women
Mhm.
did not hold um, very powerful jobs very often when they also needed to be in other places at other times. And
Yeah.
he just wanted to create something where women could be where they needed to be when they needed to be there. And it used to be for my kids, and now it's for my mom, and still for my kids.
We do
And
it all, right? We do it all. One more thing, let me just check here.
conversation. Yeah, Janine was telling me about putting a spark plug in for her son, so that's why I laughed. I'm like, we're still there for our kid.
Yeah.
He types with purpose.
I do. I just want to make sure that when people are inviting people to this group that they talk to them first and don't just hit that invite button, because it looks like we had that happen here. So just sending out that message to everyone. We've got a bunch of people joining, and boy, are we excited about this. So a lot of people have hopped on. Hello, Celeste, Tommy, Brenda, Terry. Oh my goodness, Mary, Rhonda. So we're seeing people that's coming through. That's all that matters. We are live here on the Grace and Grit Studio business page, and then we are also bumped on over to the Grace and Grit Studio group. We are live in both places. It looks like there's a hot second of people jumping on. So I'm going to ask a real quick question to all of you. If you could drop in the chat immediately and let us know who invited you here tonight, because we always like to give props to the stylist who invited you to our event. We are live every Monday night at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central. And I think I always talk about this in some way or another, but honestly, tonight we're just going to ask that you sit back and you listen to what we have to offer here at Park Lane. This may be an opportunity that's perfect for you and may fit into your lifestyle right now, or it also may be an opportunity for someone that you really care about, and we would love for you to share that information with them, invite them back here again next week at 7 Eastern, 6 Central, and maybe we can bless them. But in the meantime, your price of admission tonight for the free jewelry giveaway is just to listen to us talk. We're going to answer 4 questions. I have the great pleasure every Monday night of interviewing our executive company vice president, Mary Grace Lewandowski, and I ask her 4 questions that most people want to know about what we do. And it kind of gives you an overview of what Park Lane is about. And then we hope you take a deeper dive with the stylist that has invited you here tonight. So, Mary Grace, are you ready to rumble?
I am so ready to rumble.
Awesome. I love this. So we're going to start out with a super simple question, but it has become a little more complex because of our industry and what we do. We always talk about direct sales. That's what we are. We're direct sellers. So we talk about direct sales. So what I want to ask you is, why is direct sales so powerful, and how does it differ from MLM and multi-level marketing?
Yeah, it's funny because when you take a job where you work or do something like we do where you work from home, or it involves working with people, and it's not for a specific company, like you're kind of independent, then people will assume that it's MLM, which stands for multi-level marketing.
Right.
And they're actually very different businesses. Park Lane Jewelry is direct sales. It's the model that I'm familiar with. And basically, direct sales means direct to consumer. And direct sales is a party based business. So
Hmm.
just to make sure people understand this, like 78% of our business is online now. People, a lot of my peeps do only online. Used to be strictly in home, but there is normally some sort of hostess involved, if possible, because we have a hostess reward system where anyone who shares their family and friends with us gets lots and lots of free jewelry. And our emphasis is selling. Our emphasis is representing and selling jewelry. Do
Right.
we hire or recruit people? Yes, we absolutely do. That's this call. But it's not the center of what we do. Multi-level marketing is marketing to multi-levels of people, meaning that you want to recruit. That is like the biggest emphasis is on recruiting, and you want lots and lots of levels of people recruiting. And ideally, you don't necessarily want a customer as much as you want to recruit. So you really want to turn your customers into recruits, and you want to keep track of how many people. And that's where you hear of, and believe me, I have things like this. That's where you hear people having like a charge to their credit card every month for a certain amount. That's a
Right.
multi-level marketing thing. So Park Lane Jewelry is direct sales. In a nutshell, too, with direct sales, it truly is. My husband and I always said it's all of the benefits of running your own business with none of the risk and none of the overhead,
Yeah.
which was actually absolutely perfect for us because we always wanted to run our own business. But honestly, I don't think we ever would have had the courage to put down a whole bunch of money or time or whatever. Also, it's something where you can work it around what you're already doing. Like, so often I feel like there's an immediate misconception or misunderstanding. Like, people go, "Oh, don't offer me this. I already have a job." My answer always, and they laugh, but it's true. And Janine always laughs as I go, "Well, good."
Good.
Because
We
truly,
love
I
that.
never would have been brave enough to have just out now quit my teaching job at the time and gone totally direct sales. One of the benefits of direct sales is that you can work it around what you're already doing to see how much you like it. If you want to ever do it again, if you want to do it full time, like I ended up, which I did not think would happen. So it's something that you should listen to regardless of what your life circumstance is, especially in Park Lane,
Right.
because I usually say this later, but we have no minimums or anything. You do it as little or as much as you want. There's absolutely no like, you have to do this or you're out. So it's kind of like whatever your schedule is, there is time in your schedule, even if it's once a year, right? To do a little something with
Yeah.
Park Lane Jewelry. So that's the difference between direct sales and multi-level marketing. Multi-level marketing does require that you're pretty diligent at all times, keeping your eye on those levels, right? Multi levels that you're keeping your eye on. Whereas with direct sales, we share jewelry. That's what we do. We share jewelry here in
I
this
love that you
friendship.
talk about, I love that you threw in the no quotas in the beginning. I think we should talk about that. I think that most people on this call understand that. One of their biggest questions is, well, how much do I have to sell every month? The
Yeah.
answer is you don't. We're not
No.
going to force that. So we're getting into that later, but I love that you brought that up. And I love the idea of our word, our term direct seller is direct to consumer. I mean, that's what we are. We're personal shoppers, if you will, party plan people. That's what we do.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
all of
Just
those
to go
things,
between the company and the customer. Yeah.
we're the expert. I mean, we're the expert, and you're the expert from day one, right? So
Yeah.
it's just awesome to me. It's a good way of explaining it. I like how you explain it. Okay.
Thank you.
Um, after all these years. Okay. So the next one is, and I love how you answer this, but why jewelry? Okay, we're talking direct sales. Like, how does
Yeah.
jewelry fit into that?
Now, again, I'm going to go off question just for a little bit to share something really important about Park Lane Jewelry. To my knowledge, and I have a lot of knowledge, like in this particular arena. So I really don't. I really think we're the only ones in the direct sales industry that will recognize previous experience.
Absolutely.
So regardless of, what direct sales company and we will consider multi-level marketing experience also. But whatever, company you've been with, whatever time you went in, whatever title you achieved, we will bring you in at a level commensurate with what you achieve someplace else, which is what every company in the world does, right? And that's what we do. And when I say no minimums, I mean, like, you never lose your title. You never lose like what you've already achieved here at Park Lane. If you have been with direct sales in the past, a lot of times, like, that was something both Janine and I were with other companies. And that was something that was so stressful, was worrying all the time that everyone had done what they were supposed to do so that everyone could keep their title, keep their pay level, all that. None of that with Park Lane. We're not having it. We do not believe in leading with like punishment or fear. So that's a wonderful thing. But okay, so I digress though, because this did go with the question of why jewelry, because both Janine and I came from other direct sales companies. In fact, a lot of the people on this call probably did. Go ahead and put it in comments what you used to sell. You don't have to say the company name if you don't want to, but what product. And we were absolutely delighted with what we did, but we also kind of fell into it. It's like, in my case, I was at a show and it was a candle party, and somebody said, "Oh, there's a job opportunity here." And I thought, "Oh,
Same.
fun," and then there I went. And there I went. And Janine was in the basket industry and she absolutely loved collecting. She was amazing at it. And there she went. In today's world, what happens is there's a lot of people out there actually looking more specifically to get into a certain type of direct sales company. Or if you aren't and you never even thought about it, let me give you the reasons of why choosing jewelry originally is so savvy. Okay. And the best way to answer this is to literally talk about our founders, because Arthur and Shirley Levine started our company in 1955. They knew they wanted to use the direct sales model. They knew, as I said in the beginning,
Yeah.
that they wanted to offer wealth for generations to other people, not just their own family, which they
Mhm.
have. What they were smart about was they thought, instead of just choosing a product that we love, like you and I did, let's go out there and have some researchers tell us what product we should do. So they hired 3 different consulting companies, and they didn't tell each other, they didn't want there to be any overlap. Each of them went out into the world. They said, "Come back, tell us your top 3 product recommendations. Be prepared to defend your answers of why, like
Yeah.
with
I
good
love that.
solid stuff." All 3 of them came back with jewelry as number 1. That
Yeah.
was not even on the Levine's radar. That is not what they were thinking. But they go, "Okay, defend your answers." And my gosh, makes so much sense. So honestly, now I've lived these things, and it is so incredibly true. It's the best thing to sell. It's the best thing to represent. And I'm going to tell you right now, and really fast. Okay. One is the marketing potential. I mean,
Right.
jewelry is for everybody. It really is. And if somebody just absolutely never in a million years would ever wear a single piece of jewelry, or buy a single piece of jewelry, they definitely have people in their circle who do.
Right.
Absolutely. Top 3 gifts in the world: candy, flowers, and
Jewelry.
jewelry. So if they're not buying for themselves, they're buying for others. And
Yeah.
emotional connection. I love that part. I mean, you don't hear about who's anybody's going to leave their candles to when they go. It's their jewelry. And I love that aspect of it, that it's like an emotional connection. People are wearing our product. This makes it very nice for us because we get so many referrals back. But also, and we wear our own products, so it is a door opener, that's for sure. But
Mhm.
also, we absolutely love the fact that jewelry is one of the number 1 compliment catchers in the world. So it's so good for people. We love doing something that makes people feel so great. Number 1 conversation starter in the
Yep.
world. Okay.
Yep.
Actually raises your serotonin levels. Okay, it's not going anywhere, you guys. Jewelry's been around since
Nope.
BC. I couldn't even begin to tell you when the first, someday I'm going to find out when the first piece of
We
jewelry
have to
was
look
made.
that up. Yeah.
Yeah,
We gotta look that up.
I need to
We talk
Google.
about it every week.
But when we look at forecasts now, $43 billion industry, and we have a piece of that, that's pretty amazing. One of the only products that actually has sales, not only that stay consistent, but even go up during economic hard times.
Right.
People aren't buying cars and houses when they're worried, but they'll buy a piece of jewelry.
And we've lived through that. We've lived through that with our businesses.
Yes. Absolutely. Our sales went up during COVID and quarantine and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
People need a little something to cheer them on.
Make them happy.
And, really, they say like if about 80% of your wardrobe budget is accessories, it's going to keep you on trend and save you money. So jewelry's actually, it's big. And one of my favorite things, because this is something that I was, well, actually, I'm going to go for you too. You collected baskets.
Yep.
I'm sorry, you sold them, but you also collected them.
I also
They were
collected.
considered a collectible.
Yep.
You needed to find that market that wanted to collect it. There are jewelry is a collectible. People
Absolutely.
collect jewelry. Okay. Okay. One of the things I loved about candles, consumable product. People
Yep.
need more. Guess what? Fashion
Jewelry
is
is also
considered consumable. It changes with the trends, the seasons, the outfit changes, all of that. So
Yeah.
it is definitely considered consumable. So people don't go, oh, I have my one piece of jewelry, I'm done. So the positives for selling jewelry are all right there, and they are so in my face now that I'm like, how did I ever not see this before? But yeah, it's tremendous. It is where you want to be, guys. It really is.
It is where you want to be. And this is the best way, in my opinion, to sell this type of a brand, because when you let someone try it on, when someone experiences it for the first time, it just really makes them shine. I know that's like a dumb way of saying it, but it
No,
truly
girls
does.
love to play in jewelry.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
absolutely. I've watched women go from having a really crappy day to having a wonderful day because they put on something that made them sparkle, and they got compliments immediately when they put it on. So I
Yeah,
don't know. I think it's a feel good product. I mean, drop in the comments. Let me know what your thoughts are on jewelry. Like,
very
what
much
does
so.
jewelry
And
do
you
for you?
guys, like, no special training or anything. Like, you wouldn't want a like nuclear reactor direct sales company, and someone like me coming on in a day and selling nuclear reactors. I think that's a terrible idea. But you know what? No matter who we
There you go.
are, like I love to watch these little 1 or 2 year olds will be at my shows sometimes with their grandmas or moms,
Oh, they have so
and
much
they know
fun.
what to do with the bracelet. They know
They
what to
just
do
keep
with the
putting it on.
necklace. They know, and even if they put it on the wrong spot of their place, like their head, they know that somehow that's meant to go on them, And I just think like
You know why? Because
there's
it
no
makes them feel good
training.
even at that age. That's the catalyst for me of what jewelry does. I
Yes.
mean, we both sold different things. We both were in this genre for a long time. We probably would have, if we would have stepped into jewelry earlier, things would have been different. But we know now. And you
Yes.
sit back and you say to yourself, why do 1-year-olds put it on? Because it makes them feel good. Why do 55-year-olds put it on? Because it makes me feel good. Like, that's why I do it. So I just love that. Everybody's putting all kinds of really great things about jewelry in
Good.
the comments. Thank you so
Good.
much, guys, for participating. We appreciate that. It's almost like we're all in a room together and we get to talk with each other.
Yeah.
Okay, here's my favorite question. Now we know what direct sales is, and we know how jewelry fits into direct sales. But tell me specifically, and the people that are watching, how does Park Lane fit into all of this?
Well, you guys, I'm gonna talk to you from my heart because I feel so incredibly blessed to have found Park Lane. And had I not gone through the trauma of my other company having
Yeah,
issues, I would not have found Park Lane. I would have just stayed loyal to that company, and that would have been that,
at
right?
the end of time.
And I am so I'm not blowing smoke at 10 times a day. I think how grateful I am because we haven't missed a beat through any of the stuff that has happened in the 15 years I've been here, from COVID to quarantine to, elections and natural disasters. You name it, they don't miss a beat, and they've been around since 1955. I mentioned that earlier. They are cash rich and debt free. They were so smart with their money and their investments from day one. And it's a family owned company. So
Yeah.
it really is like their child, like they treat us
Yeah.
like their family. It's not going anywhere, and sometimes you feel like, oh, I want to be one of the first people in a company. Well, that's very risky, because they very often don't take off. And in Park Lane, it doesn't matter when you become part of our company, you still can make as much money as anybody else ever did. And Scott, our CEO, has always said that that is telling. Like, you don't want to be with a company where if you're not there in the beginning, then you're not going to do very well,
Right.
So with our programs, you're going to do really well no matter what. So those are some of the reasons. Now, I personally had an opportunity and was looking at other jewelry companies when I
Right.
decided to come to Park Lane. And I just knew that I couldn't, in good conscience, work for any of the others once I knew what Park Lane's programs were, because I always wanted to be able to say that I represented the best.
Best.
You know, I wanted to be able to say, like,
Yeah,
we have the richest
I
programs, we have
understand
the
that.
best customer sale, we have the best hostess program, we
Yeah,
have the most highly paid reps. These are all true things, okay? Absolutely true. Of the variety in our jewelry, if you look at other jewelry companies, which I love, I have nothing bad to say about any of the direct
no,
sales companies. I mean, it's a wonderful industry. But if you look at them, most of them have a certain style. Okay. Maybe it's all silver or all pearls. You know where I'm going with this. Okay. I love that with Park Lane, it's so spread out. Like there's something for everyone.
right.
We're so smart in that we actually have four um, catalogs a year, if you will, or lines with different capsules dropping. But every single month we have new jewelry.
Yep.
So they help us so much with those kinds of programs, and it keeps people interested and excited.
Yeah.
Here within our organization, I pay a professional to do all of our images. So like you could say tonight, oh, I'm going to do Park Lane, and tomorrow you would have copy and
Yep.
paste images, you know, to put up on your Facebook or Instagram or whatever, wherever it is you decide to do any type of online thing.
Right.
That's amazing because we've got that all there for you. And again, I never would have gone to all that trouble and had all that if COVID hadn't happened. There are so many positives that come out of negatives, you know, when you decide to,
Absolutely.
yeah, when you decide to pivot. And that's how Park Lane thinks. Trips, we have 2 trips a year. We have a car program. We have free jewelry every month, which I need to spend more time on that because if you were a customer, you probably like the jewelry. How awesome would it be to be able to earn over $1,000 in jewelry every month, totally
Yep.
for free, or continue to buy some of the jewelry you still buy, but also get a paycheck for that? I mean, it's a
Yeah.
no, you know, it's kind of a no brainer.
No
It's like the
brainer.
friends and family discount.
Hmm.
I was all over the place with that question tonight. And of course, the no minimums, you know, the no minimums.
I honestly, but you still hit all the points, and I
Yeah.
think that there's,
Yeah.
people are commenting as you're talking, so they're hearing you, and they're hearing what a great opportunity this is. So now that we know all these things, please tell them why now is the
Yeah.
perfect time to join Park Lane.
First of all, poor Janine, she has to hear this week after week. And so do some of you because you're so
I
good
love
about
it.
coming on. But honestly, you guys, there is no value in waiting and
Yeah.
rethinking and waiting for the perfect time. Not just with this, but with anything.
Anything in life.
Yeah, there's this scientific research that shows that successful people don't overthink things. Usually, if you overthink it, what you're doing is you're like, well, what if this happens? And what if this happens? And what if this
Yeah.
happens? When you see an opportunity like this, where it's like, okay, they're here to help me, I'm going to step forward. The rest of the stuff will reveal itself as you move along. Like, you know, like the headlights on a car. We would never drive at night if we, you know, had to know what was around every corner or we weren't going
Yeah.
to do it. So
10
we've
feet.
gotcha. So
Yeah.
it's always the right time. That being said, we are into a new season,
Yeah.
supposedly. I don't know how the weather is there, but my goodness. I feel like everywhere I go or talk to, it's like 80 today, 10 tomorrow.
10 tomorrow. Yeah. Snowing
Yeah, it's like
tomorrow.
ridiculous. So anyway,
True.
we're on the cusp of a season change.
True.
And when that happens, people are changing up their outfits and stuff, their looks. So that's always a great time. We're on a season change that's very we never have a downtime. Everybody loves retail around Christmas time and stuff like that, right? But we really love this time of year as well because we're looking at Mother's Day, graduations, first communions,
Yeah.
weddings, just summer, so many different things going on, swimsuit
Yeah.
jewelry, all that good stuff. And we have a new capsule dropping soon. We don't know exactly when, but a new capsule's dropping soon. It's always fun if like you lean in, you have your first show, and then you say, oh, and we have a new capsule dropping in the next 2 weeks. Because now you're going to be the first for that whole capsule to everyone that you're, you know, offering the Park Lane
Right.
opportunity to. Yeah. So that's generally, I mean, not generally, it's really the only really, really, really smart way to start is to have your own show. So
Yeah.
if you're still on the fence, it's kind of like the fence is a very uncomfortable place to be. You want to get it on or off the fence. The fence is going to, you know, just really make you cramp up after a while. Okay. So if you're on the fence, a really smart thing to do is to book a show. And it's
Yeah.
like, have a show. And we call them decider shows.
Yeah.
And regardless of what happens, you're going to get all the free jewelry that a hostess gets.
Right.
But you'll also get the paycheck at the end of your show. So, and I forgot the most important part. People are like, how much does it cost? It's $129, and you get to choose. Normally it's $500. This week it's $600. $129. You get to pick $600 worth of jewelry. You get to have your own personal dedicated website. You get to have access to everything Park Lane has. They do all our credit card fees and stuff. We got none of that nonsense. There's no hidden costs in Park Lane.
Nope.
And a year from now, if you decide I'm staying with Park Lane, then you just have to pay, I think it's $100 to re-up your website and all that. But for now, it's $129. It's get you going with anything you would ever need for a whole entire year to try out Park Lane with no minimums and stuff. So why not, right? Get the
Why not?
$600 worth of jewelry, have the show, get the paycheck. See after that, if you love money like I do, keep going.
Listen, you all dropped a bunch of names when I asked in the beginning who your stylist was that invited you here. And I would love for you to contact that stylist now and book a party, because I'm going to tell you right now,
Oh, they'll be so happy.
even if they choose not to sign up, okay,
Yeah.
which is fine, you're helping another person with their small business.
Yes.
You're sharing the sparkle, you're sharing the happiness, and she or he would be thrilled to hear from you that, you know, that Mary Grace and Janine girl, those girls told me I need to call you. I mean, honestly, it would help. And then when the show is over, when the show is done, if you're like, you know what, I could do this, then you can make the decision then. You don't have to make it right away. There's not going to be anybody standing over you, you know,
Nope.
forcing it. But what I will say, no, Shannon, you're still on the live. Thank you, though. She wrote replay. But what I do want to say, though, is that we will help you every step of the way. Mary Grace has a team of women and men that have over 100 years in the direct selling industry. We would be more than happy to step in and help you do what needs to be done. One last thought, Mary Grace. I snapped the Google form in there for them to fill out. What do they need to do?
Just fill out your Google form completely, please. It's your ticket, it's your admission ticket. Whether you're yes or no to the opportunity, or however you answer the questions, as long as it's completely filled out, you have a chance to win free jewelry. So
Correct.
one of the most important things you do is let me know what kind of jewelry you like, because I really kind of try to pick it out and curate it for your taste. And normally I get some very good reviews on what people loved. So be sure to fill it out. I would absolutely welcome, love, adore the opportunity to be in your circle, to get to know you guys better. I hope you'll decide to take that little step into Park Lane with us. You won't regret it. You always leave Park Lane with more than you came with, should you ever decide to leave. So thanks again, Janine, week after week. You're the best.
Love ya. Take care, everyone. Have a
Bye.
great evening. Bye-bye.